Good morning, guys. Lillian with Lily Ray's collection. Today we're going to experiment by making some tickets. I was going to punch them out with my Big Shot, but I think I'll pass on that. I want to try something else first because I want them to be a little thicker. So I found this piece of board, what do you call it, chipboard, and it's the really thin one. So I put a piece of tape on it, and then I have scraps that I keep like this, clipped from projects that I can use instead of throwing them out because they're all coffee dyed. And so I thought we would use this, use some stamps, and then we can punch the corners out with this crocodile. This side is stubs. So we're just gonna do a couple of them. So I've already taped this, and we're gonna jump right into it. And excuse me, I have a lozenge in my mouth. This tape is here so that I can keep the items centered to the camera as opposed to going off camera because I always pull the work towards me, so that reminds me that I'm not pulling in the right direction. Okay, so this is just scrapbook tape. I use the 2-inch. Okay, that was on sale. So it's always good to get your sale items when they're available, because they're not always available. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use my Fiskars cutting board. Let me just stand that up like that. And again, let's see, this should be easy peasy. Right there, right up against it. And then the same thing with this side. Just let the edge of the, I don't know what you call this, the edge of this plastic sit right in that groove. And you should be able to cut right away. Okay. Now that that's done, okay, we have that. Do we want to do the back? Or I got this beautiful color from Tim Holtz Rangers. It's the speckled egg. I bought the refill and also the Distress Oxide ink for it. So I want to see how it looks against this. I'm just going to put a little drop. Again, nothing like experimenting. And this is the refill for this. Speckled eggs. Oh. That's not bad. That is such a pretty color. I'm going to go ahead and be a little more generous. It's like painting with acrylic paint, but this leaves it a bit softer. Doesn't matter if it gets on the other side. Look at that. I like it. Nice. And then the sides of that I'll do with the actual oxide. Okay. Now let me just get a wipe. These brushes are so easy to clean. You can just soak these as well so that you don't damage the bristles. That's good enough for me. Okay. Now, oh, I love this one. This is nice and juicy. And I'm going to do the edges. I'll try and stay and focus here. Let's see if we could see it better on the other side. Oh yeah. And again, you can color coordinate the tickets as you'd like. I'll just put it down to like this. Beautiful. Okay. So now I want to use this as a template to just mark where I'm going to be cutting these. I have number 5. This is the Staedtler's mechanical pencil. I'm going to line these up. Oh, I didn't put on my big light. I hope you could see. Yeah. And if you don't have a template for the ticket, you can just use your ruler. And I will tell you what this measurement is for the ticket. Look at that. It's almost perfect. Okay. All right. So what do I have here? These are slowly erasing. So it's about an inch, and 2/8. You could do it at an inch. All right, so I'm going to take my board again. Okay, let's try this again. I'm gonna do, this is a bit tedious, but I want the ticket to have a cohesive look. So we're going to do that to the top and the bottom. Let me do all the bottoms first. It's so nice when the pad is nice and juicy. And it's okay if it's not centered. Whoops. Then you can use these either as a ticket insert in your journal or your traveler's notebook, or you can use them as tabs. I made several TNs and I use fabric as tabs, but you can also do this. Alright, so for now, let me see, let me do the top. It's hard to see this here because I have some glare. So I'm trying to follow the line that's actually on the this glass here. So excuse me if I put my head in right there. Whoops. Trying not to get the top row of the hearts. I should have actually just cut that so that I wouldn't struggle with it, but it's okay. It's for a book. Last one. Okay, good enough. And then I always like to just tap my what do you call this? My stencil. Stencil. Okay. All right. See these. This one says important stuff, urgent, and notes, and this week. Notes down here. Look at this. I bought that for $1. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish our tickets. Now I need my ruler, and I'm going to use these alphabets to stamp this out. So for now, let's see. I'm going to try and do fine lines instead of the thick lines. Hopefully this one's not dry. And I'm going to just go across here to kind of make a guide in the center. Yeah, that seems to be a little dry, but I'm going to use it until it doesn't work. Because I know the other side works, but it's a bit thicker. This one is a bit off center, but again, this is handmade. Two more. Usually you can buy tickets that don't coordinate with your project, so I thought, why not make my own tickets? Okay, let's see if I can find out. I think I could use that one as well. Now, I thought I had small numbers here, but I guess I don't. This one says get it done. This month. This week. All right, let me go ahead and make a line here. Hopefully it'll be a thin line. And then I'll extend the other lines to meet this one. Okay, so here we're going to need to use, I'm going to use the archival Stays on ink for the words. Let's see, E. Let's do SIE. Let's see how that turns out. M. N. SINE M. And A. Let's try that first. Hope it's not going to be too wide. I keep this over my pad so that it doesn't dry up, and just gently let's see. You have to kind of bring it close to these. When you use these letters, this is a hit or miss because there's really no guide. You can't see. All I know is that it should be next to, very close to the one that's already there, the letter that's already there, in order to get the word kind of even. Whoops. Oh. Okay, so we have cinema. Want to use a strip, like maybe, let me try this. I'm going to use the side of this one. Let me put it see what happens here. I'm going to bring that all the way down. I'm going to use, let me see these. I mean, you could use your handwriting to do this, but where's my M-I-D and T. Let's try these. mean, it does give it character. If that's what you want to call it. It's supposed to look vintagey, right? There. Admit. Now, we did the two as an example. Now we are going to cut those two out, and you can embellish them as little or as much as you want. This is going to be our guide right here. Sure that it's straight. There. Then we can take this, set it. There's your first ticket. Look how pretty that looks. Let's put that over there. Then we can even take the, actually, where is my, this one. Distress Oxide. You can now just touch it up. Look at that. I think they came out pretty nice. All right, so I'm going to do the rest and then I'll be back. All right, so I had to get a bit creative. I didn't have small numbers. I do, but I don't know where they are. So I'm just going to cut these, punch them out, and then we should be done. So it's pretty easy to make your own tickets to coordinate with your work and whatever project you're working on. Again, they don't have to be perfect. They're your tickets. It's not like you're selling your tickets, and if you're selling them within the actual journal, just be careful with what you're doing, and then they should be fine. I think these are two examples that I did earlier in the video. It shows you how I went from A to Z, and this says stub here, and this is my crocodile. And this is the best thing because it goes through chipboard. This is thin chipboard. And then you're going to go ahead and use your Distress Oxide to make them look vintagey. And you can even embellish them before you put them into your journal. Right? It's about being creative. Some days I feel creative, other days I don't. Most of the days I live with headaches. And there we go. All right, so then I'm going to take my Distress Oxide and just darken them. You see how this one has like a water stain? That makes it look nice and vintagey, which was when I coffee dyed the paper. So don't throw away the scraps that you have of coffee dye, because here's another idea that you can use. And then I actually forgot to show you the back. Look at the back. I painted this with the actual Distress Oxide refiller. So there you have it. You can add a gem to this. You can add a hole punch to it. You can add charms. You can use the hearts as a guide and punch holes in it. You can put a bulb clip in it. There's so many things that you can do. Your creativity is only limited by you. Imagination goes a long way. So you can look at references on Pinterest and make your own item work for you. Love the way the blue came out in the back. Okay guys, so there you have it. You have tickets here that you can use in your, let me put this here so that you can see them a little better. Look how nice they came out. And then you just have to be creative with the words. There are your tickets. Alright guys, thank you so much for joining me today.